Oh man, I have been dreading this day. I have been dreading this shit. What is going on, everyone? This is Joshua, future filmmaker 3940 Reviews, where I talk movies, TV, music, continuing my Black History series of reviews, which I am very happy doing this, that I'm just going to easily expand it from me talking about black movies throughout the rest of the year with other movies I see. Because I want to give black cinema more support than I have been. Not that I've been bad with it, it's just I feel like I should be giving them more. But after reviewing the tragedy of Macbeth, we now have to sit here and talk about one of the worst comic book movies I've seen. This has been regarded as one of the worst comic book movies of all time, and I was debating on reviewing this one. But you know what? Since it's Black History Month, I wanted to do it and I wanted to talk about it. Steel.
Oh, hell no.
That movie. This is written and directed by Kenneth Johnson, supposedly based on the character of the same name from Superman comics. And this stars Shaquille O'Neal, Irma P. Hall, Ray J, and Annabeth Gish. Yep. A military scientist takes to the streets a high-tech crusader when his work as a formidable new weapon is hijacked. When a version of his weapon, which neutralizes enemies without killing them, starts appearing in the outside world, he dons a special suit and transforms himself into a cartoon-style superhero. Still, this should be a fun little cheesy movie from the 90s, right? I'm gonna be honest with you, I went into this, I knew The Steel was regarded as one of the worst comic book movies ever. I knew this is one of the worst made movies ever, according to tons of people who has reviewed the movie and who has seen the movie, and one person in particular told me, by the time you hate Steel, you're gonna want to apologize to Supergirl. Seeing this movie, I actually want to give Supergirl an apology. I am genuinely sorry, because Steel is easily one of the worst, if not the worst, superhero movies I have seen, especially when it comes to a black leading superhero. Oh my goodness. I knew this was gonna be bad, but going into it, when people say a movie like this is bad, either I'm just like, I'm in the minority, or I feel like you people are taking it way too out of proportion. I knew this was gonna be bad, but I still wanted to give it at least an open mind, and hopefully go in and hopefully enjoy this as a guilty pleasure. While it is semi a guilty pleasure, this is still a very bad movie. First off, I will say, for all the cheesiness, I will say the cheesiness here, while it's a little too much in your face for a comic book movie like this, I will say that I did get a kick out of some of the enjoyment and some of the cheesy, ridiculous one-liners, especially when it comes from Steel, played by Shaquille O'Neal, which Shaquille O'Neal, he's not an actor, he is a basketball player, but I will say he is at least somewhat trying in this. I do want to give credit because he is trying to do the best he can with the material that is given to him. I will also say the soundtrack is entertaining. I should not be surprised since this movie is produced by Quincy Jones, the legendary Quincy Jones. So I can say that it has a good soundtrack to it. For the few action sequences, even though they're not the most competently shot, I did get some enjoyment out of them. And I will say the character of Annabeth Gish plays, which her character is in a wheelchair, I did like what they did with her. I did think she did fine for what she's given. Some of the other actors in this movie are charming. The legendary Richard Roundtree and Judd Nelson, even a very young Ray J, who, that's it though. Because everything else in this movie, from a direction standpoint to a technical standpoint to a writing standpoint, is bad. First off, you completely changed the character's origin. His origins and everything that John Henry Irons knows, this is not even John Henry Irons how it should be from Superman. I haven't read the Steel comics, I haven't read the Superman comics, but I even know that he is better treated in the Superman comics as original protagonist and antagonist. And this movie goes so far from separating itself from the comic book series and John Henry Irons as a character to the point where it could easily just been called anything and it wouldn't make a big difference there. Because that's pretty much how much you separate yourself from this. The most important thing in a superhero movie is to be accurate to your source material. Even if you don't get everything right, try to at least be accurate to the source material. And this movie just doesn't really do that. It doesn't really go for it. It is just pretty much exactly what you're getting yourself into. If I'm being honest, that's what it was. And I shouldn't be surprised since this came out the same year as Batman and Robin, which was also another terrible superhero movie. Between this and Batman and Robin and Superman 4, those are the holy trinity that killed the superhero movie genre. And it took until Blade, the year after this, to get superhero movies to be taken seriously again. Even the 2010s with stuff like Spider-Man and Iron Man and the Avengers. But you completely change this character's origin. The villain in this movie is laughably, atrociously horrendous. And I'm being honest with this, after watching it, I don't even remember the villain's name. That's how forgettable the villain is. He's that forgettable. Not only that, the costume design, especially the costume they have for Steel, is completely laughably bad. I know this is a $60 million budget. They didn't have the biggest budget ever, so I'm willing to cut you some slack, but it's still very laughably bad on an embarrassment level for how bad this is. Production design and technical aspects aside, it looks bad. It's a very cheaply done film. Without any heart, any effort. It just feels like they rushed it so we can get it out to theaters. The score is one of the only few things good about it, but at the very time, the score is also pretty forgettable as well. Character developments for some of the other characters, you don't get much out of them. Not much out of them whatsoever. And it just easily doesn't really feel like a entertaining movie. I know this was 1997. I know this was at the time they tried to get Shaquille O'Neal play superhero, but I just wasn't really feeling it personally. I know other people who do like Steel, and that's completely cool with you, but watching it, I just felt I was just sitting there like, I'm not really caring that much as I should. I am. It has nothing to do with black superheroes being in the spotlight. I welcome it. I like Miles Morales and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I can't wait to see his sequel in October, which is the first of a two-parter. I like Black Panther. I like Blade as a strong black hero. But there is a difference between making black superheroes likable and then just writing them in a most piss-poor way. And what do? You took the opposite approach. You made things worse at every turn. And it just really feels like you're sitting there and not really giving a shit about anything. Especially when it comes to the nephew played by Ray J, which is not really his fault for the writing. They just didn't give him much to work with. Like I said, I'm not really ranting as hardly as I should, but this is gonna be titled a rant because there's not much heart and much passion put into it. And also, this movie is a critical financial bomb. This is one of the things that killed the comic book movie genre for a little bit. So overall, still, yeah, I hate this movie. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to spend any more minutes on this because there are other movies I want to talk about other than this. But this is a bad movie. It's not worth it. Avoid it at all costs. And I'm going to easily give this a skip it as well. Hello everyone, those are my thoughts on Steel. Be sure to come back on February 15th where we're going to talk about Soul, the Disney Pixar movie, one of two that I've yet to review. So, as always, you guys keep it cool, join the Epictasticness, be sure to like this video, comment, share. Also, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when new videos are up. If you'd like to help support the channel, my Cash App is down there. Also, my social media link is down there. Be sure to share this video with your friends and family because it does help this channel grow and it does help the algorithm. And as always, keep it cool.